Anyone remember Terence Trent D'Arby? Well, that bumper is relevant because Daniel Greenfield, who I believe has been on this show once or twice before, has actually been quite a regular and a great regular, is here to talk about his article that will be public, I guess, later tonight. And the article is called The Forwardism Disease. That ties into the bumper, and it relates to something that's already been published in the Washington Times by Victor Morgan, which has a pretty telling headline, New Obama Slogan, which is forward, or something like that. New Obama slogan has long ties to Marxism, socialism. They're not even bothering trying to disguising it these days. Daniel Greenfield, thanks for coming on today.
Glad to be back once or twice.
Yeah. So, forward, apparently Barack Obama is not the first person to use the term forward in this or other languages. There's a little bit of a history there. Could you fill us all in on that?
Well, if you're a candidate on the left who's running for office and has no shot in hell of winning, this is definitely your slogan. Adlai Stevenson ran on Forward with Stevenson, and Tony Blair in his third disastrous election ran on Britain Forward, not back. And it's in general has always been a really great communist slogan because forward means the same thing as progressive. You're moving forward to some wonderful distant future, and along the way you're going to have to make some sacrifices, and you're not supposed to look back at what you're losing along the way.
Yeah, well, some electorally successful people certainly have used that term. For example, as you write in the article, Obama is in good company with the likes of Lenin and Mao with the forward slogan, or something to that effect, and certainly Martin O'Malley in Maryland, who, as you write, turned $1 billion surplus into a $2 billion deficit and then ran for re-election on what other slogan but moving Maryland forward. Tell us what the forwardism of the future really means, and why it seems to be used by people who bankrupt countries.
Remember when Reagan asked if you're doing better than you were before? Well, that's exactly the opposite of what forwardism is. You don't look back at the past. You don't look back at the prices that were there 40, 50 years ago, or even 10 years ago. You don't look back at the interest rates that used to be. You just move forward into the wonderful future, because under liberalism, things are always getting better, even when they're getting much, much worse.
Not to go too into zoology here, but there's an animal called a lemming, a small animal, and they're known for moving forward, right, over cliffs, I believe?
Oh, yes. They keep moving forward, and we can be lemmings, too, forward with Obama, over the cliff, into the sea.
Even in Israel, I think the term has been used. And Jews who are very much on the left here in the U.S. I'm talking about Kadima and the Forward newspaper.
Oh, yes, the Forward is one of the many left-wing newspapers who use that name, and these days they're going very definitely backward. They have no real future, but when you're thinking in forwardism, then you're always moving forward, even when you're moving backward.
One final question for you, Daniel. You make reference to someone who may not be a household name named Edward Bellamy. Can you explain his relevance to forward and backward, etc.?
One of the most compelling socialist books back in the 19th century was Edward Bellamy's Looking Backward, which imagined the wonderful world of 2000, where there would be no individual businesses, no individual freedoms. Everything would be nationalized, centralized, and controlled. Everything would work from the top down, and we're getting to that world. It's just not a very nice place. And these days we're looking backward more than we're looking forward.
You know what? I have to ask you one quick question. It's simply a yes or no question. Is it a coincidence that you wrote about the Forwardism Disease as your May 1st column?
No coincidence at all.
Never is. Daniel Greenfield, Sultan Knish, sultanknish.blogspot.com. Thanks for coming on today.
Good to be on.
Gag with every breath. Let's slow things down. I'm looking for